It's Thursday, January the 2nd, and it's only 5:16 Eastern Standard Time, and it's too early for the McClellan Index to be updated, but you just know that it's going to be heading towards the overbought line, so it's somewhere in the middle. But let's take a look at the S&P, because today was a rather exceptional day, up 55 points, 1.5%, coming right after that riot yesterday. But also coming right after the day that the second Democratic Georgia Senate seat was confirmed. That means that Biden now has 2 years of control of both houses, both parts of Congress. He can pretty much, if he keeps his people in line and he gets a little bit of Republican support, doesn't need it, he can actually get things done. And one of the first things people think he's going to do is increase the stimulus through infrastructure. And Caterpillar today was up another, well, only 37 cents, but had a heck of a day yesterday. That's sort of a bellwether for infrastructure spending. There are other stocks, obviously. The banks are continuing to be up big because companies are going to borrow money to bid on these contracts. I was going to say something. Also, there's going to be probably $2,000 checks issued, or $1,400 checks on top of the $600 that Trump has given to help the people, weather through this coronavirus. So I was trying to figure out where the S&P was going, and we've got our 2021 fibs, which took the low of 2020 and the end of 2020, the beginning January to December, and we tried to find some places where it might be going. But in the short term, I'm trying to find out where traders are looking, and they might be looking at this wave right here. It seems to fit. It's better than looking at this wave, although that's not a bad choice. But I think there's an interim before we get to 4,087. And look at the basing right in here from April the 8th all the way through to May the 15th. After the market had started to do its COVID recovery, it sort of paused. And it was in this, in this channel here for 5 weeks. And then it started to move up. So let's take a look at that low point and this high point. In September, we started to move down, and we found the 78.6 was important. We found the 61.8 was important enough that it hung around there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Didn't quite make it up to a double top, but came down to 61.8. Then it did make a double top, and it hung out there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days, and then started to move up. So 39.01 could be the next point that we're looking for, but we're definitely looking for moves higher before some sort of correction takes place. And that correction may only bring us down to 35.88 before we go again. But it's going to depend on the policies that Biden starts off with. Apple. I tweeted that I did go long Apple today in short puts, and I took the January 29th 130 short puts for $6.40, and I sold 2 of them. Now, why didn't I just buy the stock? Because I did this in an IRA account. They automatically take the full price of the stock, $130,000, let's see, $130, so they're taking $13,000 out for each contract, and they're putting that aside as protection. So they've taken $26,000 and put it aside as protection for themselves. So why didn't I just spend $26,000 on the stock? I like selling puts because if the stock does not hit the 130, I can roll it again. And I'm confident about Apple. They're going to have a great quarter. Could it pull back, and could it not do 130 earnings, which is the week after my options expire? when there's going to be a lot more volatility. So I don't want to sell those because the volatility between now and then is going to increase, but I do want to sell the week before. And then I can always roll into the following week to pick up the premium based on the volatility. So we'll follow that one. But we did have a good day today, and we did break above the 8 EMA, and I had set an alert for breaking above the 8. Let's see tomorrow if we can stay above the 8, and if we do, I'll continue to add one more contract, but I'm not going hog wild. Zach, if I'm not mistaken, said that he purchased April $20 calls. Now they would be fairly expensive. I didn't look at them, but I mean that's an approach, right? Buying calls that are deep in the money, but that of course is extremely deep in the money. So Zach, maybe you can clarify in the comment section what you meant by that. Let's look at some of the other stocks. ZI, Zoom Info Technologies, not to be confused with Zoom, the people that do the equivalent of FaceTime. This is different. This is a market analysis firm. And we were looking at Fibonacci's there, but we also looked yesterday at this trend line. And I said that if it failed below the trend line, I was going to sell. Well, it went above the trend line, so I added another 100 shares. And I set an alert to see if we could move higher than yesterday's open. And we finished at yesterday's open. So I'm comfortable with 200 shares. A move up tomorrow means we're going to 46.28. And I'll add another 100 shares. So I'm going to move into this one carefully. Square had just a powerful day today and is heading for a double top where we expect it to sort of stall and fight with that double top. And then we're going to have to see, possibly go higher. But this has moved up without the benefit of any testing of any cloud or any moving averages. But it is using, I believe it's using a Fibonacci set. NIO, I have the short 55 weekly calls, and the stock ended just below that, ended at 55.18, so a little bit over. That's fine. If it's around $55, that's great. I will roll my calls into next week. I won't let the stock get taken from me. I may even add more stock and sell the 57.50 calls. I'm going to move with NIO slowly because I see it going to 57.20, but again, like Square, I see it stalling out at the double top, and then I'll wait and see which way it's going to go, but I'll probably get out at 57.20. AT&T was rejected by the 200. This is a great dividend stock. It's getting great analyst reviews. I just wish I had an opportunity to buy more, but I'm waiting for a pullback to some kind of a moving average now. Maybe the 200 SMA is going to give me an opportunity to buy again, or the 8 EMA, or the cloud. But this is a great stock and a great dividend. Let's go now, because we've been 8 minutes into this. Let's go to Best Buy, moved up higher. CVS is finally starting to make that move. So now we've got rejected at this short-term double top. Actually, it's been 3 times now at this point. CVS could be a buy, and it could still be going to complete this butterfly pattern, but it would be a buy if it moves above this green line. So if you're so inclined with CVS, that's your opportunity with CVS. The banks, I said today, JP Morgan, look at that, up $4. US Bank, just below $50, but look at that big move, over 78.6. Let's just finally close by taking a look at some of the other stocks. Dollar General, which either Zach or Andy are into. Nice move today. I'm going to get rid of Square here because we've got it elsewhere. Sono broke out of that bull flag. So I haven't bought it, but if you're buying it, I mean, it's attractive, $24. We started talking about it, back here. Really, I wish I'd bought it. They probably had a very good Christmas, but I'd rather make my play with Apple. Rocket Technology, it's really not a buy until it probably comes back to 22.65. That's my feeling. If you really are in love with the stock, wait until it moves above this trend line, and that would be at 20.49 if it was today, and then start buying above the trend line. But I wouldn't buy it before the trend line. That's all for today. I really am optimistic that the government now has the ability to do something. The Republicans are going to stop infrastructure because they're going to say they've spent too much money. They're not going to say they've spent too much money, but a lot of money has been spent under the Trump administration. But this is not the time to stop spending.